Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com, baby. We're streaming live simultaneously in 3 different locations. The Heavy on Jets Facebook page to over 30,000 New York Jet fans. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below for more juicy New York Jets content, and of course on Twitter as well, at BoyGreen25. Wherever you're watching the show, by the people, for the people, make sure you get involved with some questions and comments. We're reacting to the breaking news just in from Rich Cimini. Dwayne Brown's agent spoke to Rich Cimini, and Dwayne Brown is coming back for a 17th NFL season. Dwayne Brown is 37 years of age. He will be 38 by the start of the 2023 season. His birthday is on August 30th. And this is massive news for a lot of different reasons. We're going to break it all down here on the show and give you guys the latest. First off, let's just give you the nitty gritty on Dwayne Brown. This is a guy who's a former 5-time Pro Bowler. Earlier this offseason, he underwent recent surgery to repair a torn left rotator cuff, and he was deciding whether or not to come back. Now, Dwayne Brown got injured right before the year started, actually, in that week 1 ahead of the Ravens game, which started all this kinds of, well, didn't really start because they had injuries before that, but the offensive line musical chairs for the New York Jets. And a lot of that was kind of getting underway ahead of week 1. Now, Dwayne Brown's injury, if he would have had surgery before week 1, like a lot of people were expecting, he would have been out for the year. He never would have played a snap. And as Robert Saleh, Mike LaFleur, so many of the Jets coaches said last year, that he had always guaranteed money. He could have said, screw you, Jets. Thanks for the bag. See ya. He could have packed it in, and nobody, as the Jets say, would have batted an eye at Dwayne Brown. But he decided to say, wait a second, throw me on IR. That's a minimum 4 weeks out. Let me try to see if I can fight back from this. And he absolutely did, coming back for the Jets. And he's a guy that really, quite frankly, was a great locker room guy and someone that really did a lot for the Jets. He ended up starting the 12 games in his first season with the Jets, only missing those, again, from the IR before ultimately coming back. He played the entire season with that rotator cuff injury. And again, according to some of the analytics, again, a quick sidebar here before we get even deeper into this. Again, the PFF numbers weren't great. He was pretty good as a pass blocker, 72.3 pass block grade, but overall 57.8 not grade, run block grade 44.4. So it wasn't really great from that perspective. But in terms of, and I guess it's just kind of a classic Jets thing here, that despite the age, this is a guy that's been pretty durable throughout his NFL career overall, and specifically 2018, played all 16 games. 2019, only 12, but 2020, all 16 games. 2021, 17 games. This past season, 12 outside of the injury as well. So he had been incredibly durable coming to the Jets. Of course, when you gamble on a guy that's this old, anything, of course, is possible. So him coming back is great news for a lot of different reasons. First off, depth, at a minimum depth, especially with what happened with all the injuries last year. So for Dwayne Brown to be coming back is good news because there was a lot of mystery at offensive tackle. Mekhi Becton, what's happening there? George Fant is a pending free agent. Again, what's going to happen there? Max Mitchell had all the blood clots last year. So again, another mystery there. And now the Jets will have a little bit more flexibility heading into the 2023 NFL draft. Now all of a sudden, offensive tackle isn't an absolute must to get in. Now, I'm not saying they don't get it. Again, if you don't want to rely on what will be a 38-year-old offensive tackle, you want to invest even more into the position. I completely understand that, but we'll kind of see. Again, it just gives the Jets options, which again is really nice from Dwayne Brown's perspective. Again, he signed the 2-year, $20 million contract as a free agent, and he now will be returning for his second year. A couple of interesting notes from this. Again, Robert Saleh, I'll just read you guys the quote instead of playing it, that this is what Robert Saleh said on Thursday when he spoke virtually at the NFL Combine. Dwayne is a freaking rock star, man. The way he fought through pain and injury, he did what I'd say about 90% of players probably wouldn't have done in terms of playing when he didn't have to. All his money was already guaranteed, and the guy still strapped up and played 16 or however many games for us. It ended up being 12. So a lot of respect for him. Love his grind, love his grit, love what he stands for. And if he's here, it'd be awesome. And now he will be here, as he confirms through his agent to Rich Cimini that he'll be coming back. He did win the team award that was created this season, quote, Selfless Warrior. He was the first recipient of the award for the award with his toughness and team-first attitude in fighting for it through his team. Now, before we get into all of that, I do want to highlight a couple of interesting nuggets, which I find fascinating. Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic dropped this in a piece earlier this week from what he was hearing at the Combine, that the Jets wanted Dwayne Brown back, and if he was back, he would, quote, likely be the starter at left tackle. So it sounds like, again, of course, anything can change. Think about this random detour story. When the Jets first signed George Fant, they promised him, hey, you're going to be our starting left tackle. Of course, a month later, they drafted Mekhi Becton, and everything changed from that perspective. So, things can change, okay? Just because the plan is for Dwayne Brown to be the starter, they could draft the left tackle at 13. Mekhi Becton, of course, could be healthy and take the job back from Dwayne Brown. So a lot can happen here, but interesting note from Zach Rosenblatt that the expectation is that he will be the starting left tackle. Again, this was pre-Dwayne Brown making the decision. They said if he came back, he would be the likely starter at left tackle. However, I want to highlight a different nugget, and this one coming just a few days ago from Connor Hughes on the Can't Wait podcast. This was at the NFL Combine. I'm going to throw this on the screen for you. Now, you may just say, okay, Paul, an offensive tackle's coming back. What's a big whoop? Although I think it is important for the Jets to figure out what's going to be happening at offensive line. Here's what Connor Hughes said. Connor Hughes of SNY joined the Can't Wait podcast, and he said this, quote, the Jets are fully committed to Dwayne Brown coming back, and they believe that depending on who they get at quarterback, he will be back. Again, one more time. The Jets are fully committed to Dwayne Brown coming back, and they believe that depending on who they get at quarterback, he will be back. And I ask you, Jet fans who are watching, listening in, what do we mean by that? What is meant by that, I ask? I openly ponder. What could that mean? Now that it said that Dwayne Brown would come back, depending on who the quarterback is, the news coming out today that Dwayne Brown is coming back, does Dwayne Brown know something? Is quarterback news about to drop upon us as we've been waiting for weeks upon months, quite frankly, on who the hell the quarterback will be? I ask you this. Do we now know who that quarterback is? I openly ask. I don't know. But do we? Because that was the nugget with Dwayne Brown. He will come back depending on who the quarterback is. Right now, the only two quarterbacks on the roster are Zach Wilson and Chris Trevler. I'm going to be honest. I don't believe that is going to get someone to move off the couch. So who is that guy? Is it Derek Carr or is it Aaron Rodgers? And I'm going to say this. I believe, no informed sources here or anything, it's Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, baby. That's who you have to get. The elite of the elite. One of the most talented generational quarterbacks we've ever had. I mean, he is friggin' talented. And still one of the best quarterbacks in the game today. Get me Aaron Rodgers. Does this mean Aaron Rodgers? I don't know, baby, but I am stoked and excited to investigate the possibilities. Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, okay, you're out of the gosh darn cave. Let's get your Patuki from wherever the hell you are right now to New York, baby. Let's make it happen. Let's speak it into existence. That's what we need. We need Aaron Rodgers. Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, baby. I mean, this would titillate me like nothing else. Absolutely. He's got the necessary chutzpah that this Jets team needs. There's just no question, no doubt about it. And that would be a perfect recipe, a perfect combination here in New York. Let's dive into some of your comments. Again, wherever you're watching, feel free. You got a couple of options if you're watching. Of course, the free way to contribute is liking the video, hitting subscribe on our YouTube channel. And even if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, open up a new tab, baby. YouTube.com/BoyGreen25. It's just that easy. Like the video, hit subscribe. You'll never miss any of this fantastic content, of course, here on the show. So, guys, make sure you do that. And if you'd like on YouTube, the YouTube Super Chat feature is available. And you can throw a little change into my tin cup, and I will do a dance for you here on a Sunday. And maybe I'll do even more than a dance. Baby, Dwayne freaking Brown is back. And what else does that mean? I think all of us are on the edge of our seats to try to understand. Nonetheless, I'm really excited about the Dwayne Brown news. Let's welcome a bunch of people in. FM, good afternoon. How are you, man? Let's see. Let's go. I love that. Okay, beautiful. Aaron, can't wait to see him healthy. Brown is elite. I remember saying that. And a lot of Jet fans pushed back on that. He did not end up being elite according to the analytical numbers last season, but I still believe he is a really, really good offensive tackle, and we'll see if he can stay healthy, and maybe he can live up to my crazy words. FM, he doesn't need surgery. He's already had it. He is already in recovery from the surgery, so he is back. He was good early. It seemed that way. It seemed like he was pretty stout and fighting through all the stuff he was fighting through personally. When was the last time we just had an average offensive line? I don't know. That's a good question. I think this group has a lot of potential. I think Connor Hughes talked about this in a few of his SNY TV hits, his television hits. When you look, so there's two ways depending on your personality. Again, for me, I am an insanely optimistic person. I am a glass half full. And that's why I think a lot of you guys love me or hate me for whatever the reason is. But the way I look at this offensive line, let's say we have Duane Brown, left tackle. Laken Tomlinson, I think he's going to have a bounce back, personally. I think he's going to have a big bounce back. I like the cut of his jib. You go to center, I'm probably going draft. We'll probably have another video on the channel, maybe out early tomorrow, on Luke Whippler, the great Jet story. Shout out to Rich Samini, who, by the way, dropped this bomb on us for the Dwayne Brown news, and also the Whippler story earlier today. He is dropping bombs, baby. It's spectacular, fantastic. So the Whippler Jet story looks pretty cool. Maybe go draft at center and save some moolah that you would have been spending on Connor McGovern. That could be fascinating. You go to right guard. Obviously, you have Elijah Tucker. That's where I put him back at his natural spot. The right tackle, it would be some combination right now. Mekhi Becton, Max Mitchell, and the other guy's depth. The other guy's the starter. Now, maybe Mekhi Becton, who has been posing for photos and looking great in workouts, maybe he's just so good and so healthy and back. He's like, I'm the gosh darn left tackle, baby. And then Dwayne Brown would probably have to go to backup. He's been exclusively a left tackle in the NFL. I'm not quite sure. At 37 years of age, soon to be 38 years of age, an old dog new trick. All right, go play right tackle. This isn't a Madden video game, people. This isn't boop, boop, boop. Got too many left tackles, throw one of them over. That's not how the real world works. So I would imagine it would be a little over the top to make him assume to jump to the other side. But again, put the best five out there, you'll figure it out. So again, if you look at the five, Duane Brown, Laken Tomlinson, center, I probably assume day 2 draft pick. Maybe a Whippler could go, JMS maybe for all our Minnesota fans out there. Whoever, you plug a center in there, and then the rest is kind of figured out. Again, Duane Brown, Laken Tomlinson, rookie center, Elijah Tucker, and then some combination of either Mekhi Becton, Max Mitchell. Not bad. And a little bit of star power, if you will. There is a ceiling to potentially be reached. Obviously, on Mekhi Becton, obviously on AVT, if he comes back. I think Laken has a really high ceiling. Now, I don't know if he immediately jumps back to Pro Bowl level. That may be a little aggressive, but obviously, if you could jump back to even average starter, you're in a fantastic position. But when's the last time we had an average offensive line? I don't know. But offensive line obviously would be massively important. Or you could look at it the other way. So I just gave you the positive standpoint. You could say this. Dwayne Brown's old as hell. Laken Tomlinson's coming off a rough year. What are you doing at center? Again, whether you're bringing back Connor McGovern or a rookie, he's a rookie. Right guard Elijah Tucker's coming off a torn tricep. And then right tackle, Mekhi Becton's only played 48 snaps the last 2 years, and Max Mitchell's coming off blood clots. So if you want to be, you can be in the darkness, as has been a theme over the last couple of weeks. So you could be negative. To me, I'm positive. To me, I could see the potential. I also see the other side. If you choose to look that way or live your life in that fashion, you could also be negative about it. But I think the offensive line is in for a big bounce back. Big bounce back. Again, he already had surgery, Jimmy. So he is in recovery, and the expectation, again, I don't want to throw crazy numbers out there. I haven't heard from Dwayne Brown's camp or anything. He's already had the surgery. We know that. Robert Saleh confirmed that at his virtual combine presser, and that they're going to be making the proper recovery. But we'll see. Again, his age and everything else, that is up in the air. But he already had the surgery. I just love a league average offensive line. That'd be nice. Comeback player of the year. Probably a little aggressive at offensive line. Maybe Breece Hall if you want to throw some money around. But we'll see. He's out for a year then. No, that is not going to be the case. He would not be coming back, obviously, if the surgery would take him out for that long. He should be able to use a lot of this off-season time. Again, it's only March now. What do we have till September? So what do we have? All of March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So we're talking about like 6 months plus if he got the surgery today. It sounded like he got it again last month. So, again, there's some time to come back from that. Let's see. Becton left tackle 1. That'd be great. Hopefully he is. I'd love to see it. I love the guy. I like the cut of his jib. He seems to have a fire in him, which is great. It's Snoopy. I think he knows something about QB. I don't know. I mean, Connor Hughes said, hey, depending on who the quarterback is, and right now, technically, we have no idea who the quarterback is unless Dwayne Brown knows something. Knows a little something about something. If you catch my drift. I don't know, baby. Maybe. Ragnar Jet here. Dwayne Brown knows something big is coming this year and is coming back. Changes for agency and draft options, baby. What a plus to have Dwayne and Mekhi healthy. Yeah, that would be spectacular. Again, it gives you options. Even if, again, you're pessimistic on the Dwayne Brown thing with age and the surgery and everything else, to me, options, baby. He is on the roster because if he retired, which could have happened with a post-June 1 designation, potentially could have gotten a little funky, you were going to lose some money. So it's better to have Dwayne Brown a part of your team than not a part of your team. Gives you options, baby, and you got to love options. I told Randy Mueller on this on our Friday night show. Hopefully you guys check that out with former NFL general manager. I said, hey, when I did tests and I had multiple choices, I did a little bit better when you have options. Everyone loves options, baby. Carlos El Dago here. What's up, Boy Green? What's poppin', baby? It's Snoopy. Rodgers, Boy Green. Yes, Rodgers. I love all the Rodgers. Yes. Feed me. Give me your energy. I'm like Goku. I don't know where that reference will hit for some of you, but, like a spirit bomb where I'm just raising my hands up and I'm like, feed me your energy, people. Feed me your Rodgers energy. I love it. Yes, excellent. I know not everyone's a Rodgers fan, but I am, baby. Drink it up. Num, 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 num. Yummy. Yes, Rodgers. Yes, please. My fiance actually watched Rodgers, which, by the way, a little concerning. Like, what, is she into the man bun thing? Do women find Aaron Rodgers attractive? I'm not sure. So her sudden affinity for one Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to be honest, is somewhat concerning. But that's neither here nor there. We'll figure that out at some other point. We still need to draft a tackle. I'd probably still like one because if you look at, I don't have the roster in front of me, but off the top of our heads, so we got Mekhi Becton, obviously, Max Mitchell, and Dwayne Brown now. But like the depth, like where's the depth? So you're probably going to need to throw something in. I just think it's less of a, oh my gosh, we got to do this at 13. You also have to figure out, and why we haven't been doing mock draft Mondays, by the way, is because not that I'm D-plugged because I love the draft, but like what happens at quarterback is pretty important. If you sign Derek Carr, all of a sudden, oh, well, we have all our picks. Okay, full on board. Let's go crazy with the draft. If Aaron Rodgers takes a 13th pick, I don't think he will, but if he takes a 13th pick, all of a sudden that changes the dynamic of our mock draft conversation. So I'm kind of waiting for that to settle before we dive in full draft personally, but we will fully attack it. I got a lot of great draft context we'll get into, but I think because of the Dwayne Brown news, it's now not a, oh my gosh, we have to do this, but we could, again, more guys, especially with all the injuries, would be good. Jimmy Jets, that's confusing. If he was to have surgery last year and would have missed the whole year, why wouldn't he miss this if he has surgery right now? Let me try to explain this the best way that I can, Jimmy. And anytime, a player suffers a certain injury, I go to the doctors. I try to reach out to doctor people to try to tell me. Here's why. Because you have to think of, so injury, surgery, recovery time. In the middle of a season, it's not really, especially with the torn rotator cuff, it's not realistic for a guy to go under the knife, have surgery, and then be out for this foreseeable amount of time, recover, rehab, and then just thrown back into the mix. In the offseason, however, you can have surgery after the year's over. You have all the full time without any rush to run back into football action. He doesn't have to be a part of the OTAs, the mandatory mini camp, or anything like that, and can have proper rest because when the Jets really need him is for the season. So think about it. In the middle of a season, which, by the way, this is when it happened in September, he would have been out September, October, November, December, January. So we're talking about 5 months of action. Now look at the 5 months now that the season's over. In theory, February, March, April, May, June. He could be back in theory by July with that same 5-month timeline. So you see what I'm saying? So it's not just 12 months out. It's the months of a season. The regular football season, again, is in the 5-month range and hopefully longer for people who make deep playoff runs. But hopefully that explains it a little bit for you, Jimmy. Ragnar Jet, Derek Carr doesn't excite Dwayne Brown. Coming back for Aaron does. Well, perhaps. Again, I would be excited about Derek Carr, but I have made no other bones about it, and I don't want it to be confused that I would be all on board for Aaron Rodgers, and that's who I want. Derek Carr, I think we could convince ourselves that things are going to happen. Let's see. Please no to Aaron Insecure. Yeah, again, if he could throw touchdown passes, I'm all about it. I'm all about it, baby. The kid is adorable. Thank you so much. I know you can probably hear her in the background a little bit. Well, this was an emergency pod. I get the notification. Oh, snap. Dwayne Brown's come back. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, I had all these nuggets on Dwayne Brown again that he would likely come back to start at left tackle. The quarterback news nugget. I'm like, whoa. We need to do a live stream to talk about it, really dive in full deep. So this was, we were in the middle of family time, and I'm sure my fiance will slit my throat. So this is my last video. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you at some point. But, we had to get on for this news for sure. Ragnajet Rodgers has tons left in the tank. We're only barely over a year removed from Aaron being the league's back-to-back MVP. That's the thing I don't get. And also last year, again, you have if you want to make excuses, he had the thumb injury after the Giants London game, which was before the Jets game. So he had that. He played through that. He didn't just rest. He played through that. Love that. So that's a factor. And then again, his numbers, when you really consider it, while they're bad for Aaron Rodgers, not bad for the rest of the league, and he's coming off the back-to-back MVP. So I still think he's got plenty left in the tank. And then situationally, I saw a lot of Packers games last year. Obviously, the one against the Jets and a couple of the primetime games, which they were on. You see these throws, and you're like, holy crap, this guy clearly still has it. So I will die on that hill. Again, if the Jets trade for Aaron Rodgers and then he's just washed over the hill, then you guys can tie me up in the middle of the village and start pelting me with rocks until I'm dead if you want, because I will die on that hill. I think Rodgers has plenty of gas left in the tank. Is it 1 year, 2 year, 3 year? I don't know. But by the way, I'd be willing to sign up for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. 1 year of Aaron Rodgers is going to be a lot more exciting than the last 12 years of gosh darn nothingness. I mean, come on, people. Be willing to live a little. Live life. Now, I get it. Living life can sometimes be pain. That's part of the life circle. I'm willing to get hurt again, baby. Are you? You need to ask that question at home, wherever you are, whether you're watching live or after the fact. You need to be willing to get hurt. I am. I've had enough of 12 years of no playoffs. I want playoffs. I want playoff wins. I want Super Bowl conversation. And if the Jets get Aaron gosh darn Rodgers, they're a championship contender. A few people push back on that, by the way. Hell no. They are immediately. New York hasn't won a Super Bowl, and God knows, what is it, 53, 54 years, somewhere in that ballpark? They haven't won in 50-plus years. You get Aaron Rodgers, so the starved team that has all this talent, he had a quarterback of that magnitude to the team, all hell breaks loose. The bets are coming in. The Jets will immediately rise to one of the Vegas odds favorites to win the championship, whether you believe it or not. So, I mean, of course, they're a friggin' lock to make the playoffs. 7 teams to playoffs. You have Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you're making the playoffs. Now the question is, how far are we going? How many games we winning? We winning some chips? Let's go. Let's figure it out, baby. I am all in on Rodgers. It's Snoopy. A Packers beat said A-Rod came to New York on Friday. Saleh is sick and missed the combine. Now this Brown news. It all can't be a coincidence. That is interesting. I did hear that Aaron Rodgers was in town for something. Maybe it's all under the radar and they're kind of being super quiet about all of this. Perhaps it's possible. Saleh was sick, but the Saleh, let me just clarify, Snoopy. The Saleh sick missing the combine. No, Saleh was always going to miss the combine. The Saleh sick thing that he missed was the in-person Derek Carr meeting. He was going to fly from New Jersey to Indy to meet with Derek Carr, then come back. He was never going to be at the combine for the full slate. So I just want to clarify that for people who are unaware. He was never going to the combine for the full shish kebab, but he was going to come for the Derek Carr meeting, which came about. But maybe, and then the Brown news, maybe it is not all a coincidence, but just some clarity on that point. Dane, if we get Rodgers, we need to at least get to the Super Bowl the next 2 years, and that's a gauntlet with Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and the AFC. I would just say this. If you get Rodgers, you're competing for Super Bowls. So whether they, it's worth it if they get to here, if they get to there. It's worth it if you win the gosh darn Super Bowl, because that's what you're fighting for. That's what you've got a window here where you've got all this young talent on rookie contracts. You just got to go for it. You got to go for the jugular and see where you can go. So I don't have to say we need to at least get to the Super Bowl. I want to win a Super Bowl, Rodgers. I don't want to have the loser's mentality of, if at least we get here, then it's okay. No, I want to win a gosh darn championship. That would be my one and only singular mindset. And to your point about the gauntlet, things happen, man. Like Mahomes, and again, I want to make that clear, and this doesn't get clipped out of order. I don't want anyone to get injured. But if Allen or Burrow or anybody, and Allen last year, obviously, with the elbow, he blows his arm out, I don't care. Win the Super Bowl. Does anyone say, that one year that Tom Brady tore his ACL week 1, they're like, Like, is there an asterisk by whoever won the Super Bowl? No, you win. Football, Jet fans know better than anybody. Injuries happen, man. Injuries happen. It's part of the game. So any one of those guys could get injured. Other players, key on the roster, could get beat up. So anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. So if you're telling me I have Aaron Rodgers, any game the Jets play with that elite defense, with that core, they could beat anybody on any given day. Facts. Facts. Okay, so let's just get that straight. So I'm not scared of Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, any of these guys. Are they good? Of course. They're talented. They're really good. But so friggin' what? So are we. So that's what the Jets need. They need to go kind of like look around the room. I don't care about this. We got swag. We got confidence, so we can go out and do something. So that's my perspective. Anthony Cook, if Brown comes back, then we could draft the tackle for the future in the second or third and get a wide receiver. There's no if. He is coming back. It is now official. Dwayne Brown's agent told Rich Cimini, he wrote a big column about it. He is officially coming back for a 17th season. So you could do that. Again, your options just kind of expand. Round one, wide receiver could be interesting. Zach Rosenblatt said that the Jets would like to explore the trade market potential at wide receiver. Is that DeAndre Hopkins? Do they go that high? I don't know. The cap could get a little crazy there. Do they go after Allen Lazard to pair up with his buddy Aaron Rodgers? I'm not sure. But again, the options just open up. You could still go offensive tackle at 13. You could go wide receiver. You could go Brian Branch at safety. I don't know. We'll dive into the draft once we get our quarterback in full flower, Anthony. But options are on the table. That's how I look at it. Rico the Pup, Boy Green, the best Jets YouTuber. Wow. Been a while since I caught one of your live streams. Is Bone Jones to go after last night's dismantling of Ghana? 100%, by the way. And a New York guy, quick detour here. I know we're talking Jets here, but John Bones, of course, he's got the wonderful family, Endicott, New York. I'm in New York, so I've got a special connection to him. His brother, Chandler Jones, covered here at Syracuse when he was here before he went to the NFL. Arthur Jones also here, a local guy as well, and won a Super Bowl. So I know the Jones. I don't know the Jones family directly. We don't hang out on the weekends, but I've just been a big fan for a long time. I've always thought he was the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. But after now being crowned the heavyweight champion, it'd be joining the legendary figures of multiple titles in multiple weight classes. I mean, this guy is the GOAT, and hopefully we get Francis Ngannou. Hopefully he comes back. I know there's the Dana White clip out there that he does not believe he will ever come back, but hopefully we do. The next natural fight, though, is Stipe Miocic. But yes, John Jones is the best. He could just do it all, man. Great wrestler, great striker. Man, he, again, some of the off the mat, outside the octagon things are a little weird, but hey, different strokes, different folks. Let's keep going, but good stuff, Rico. I appreciate the kind words. NYY. Ooh, love the profile with Sauce and Garrett. Very nice. Still drafting a tackle at 13 and who's starting? It's open. It doesn't have to be a tackle now, I believe. I think there has been this overall consensus that you're getting Broderick Jones out of Georgia, Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State, or maybe Peter Skoronski. I think Peter Skoronski, if people still question the arm length, maybe he slips to 13, and he's versatile, so he can kind of play all over the line. A lot of people have conviction that he could play tackle. We had Trevor Sikkema for our only path to the 2023 NFL draft video. You guys can find that in my YouTube playlist. He still loves Skoronski at tackle, so I'm fine with it. Again, right now it appears that Dwayne Brown is starter at left tackle. Right now, if a season started today on March 5th, it does not, of course, but Dwayne Brown would start at left tackle. Mekhi Becton and Max Mitchell fight it out for right tackle, and I would imagine Mekhi wins that. But that would be my gut right now. Let's go to Prestige Shogun, baby. Let's go, Boy Green. I think it's going to be Rodgers, and imagine Jet fans who are upset about it. I'm so mad we got Aaron Rodgers. Just think how ridiculous you would sound. Let's get him. 100%. And there's a lot of Jet fans out there saying, I don't want Rodgers. Too much draft capital. Too much. What are we doing with the draft capital? I know we just came off an awesome draft, but draft picks are lottery tickets. They can flop. Denzel Mims, Ashton Davis, Ja'Kai Polite. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Like, those are maybes. Aaron Rodgers, you know what the heck he is. He is an elite quarterback. You go and get elite friggin' quarterbacks, baby. Come on. I mean, for Pete's sake. But that's neither here nor there, baby. That's neither here nor there. All right, I will catch back up to these comments again. We oh, wow, we have a lot of comments in here. I'm going to go to all our YouTube super chats first, so I will get to those, and then we'll get back to the top of the list here and try to answer all your comments on all this craziness. Let's go here. We've got a Jets Cubs fan 29. Thank you so much for the YouTube super chat, pal. Again, that feature is available for all of you on the YouTube channel. If you'd like to get a special shout out on the show and, of course, get your question or comment answered. Okay, Boy Green, gun to your head, and you better be right. Who's our quarterback going forward? Aaron gosh darn Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Slam it down. I've been saying this for months. I said it on Buffalo Jet fans YouTube channel. So ask him. I've been saying it before anyone friggin' else. Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I wanted Aaron Rodgers during the season. Actually, not that they could have traded him for him at that point because the trade deadline had already passed. But we've known for a while that the Jets needed a quarterback, which has probably made this period of time seem so much longer, because it's just been quarterback speculation. But Aaron Rodgers, 100%, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers or bust. And I feel that way for a couple reasons. First off, that's the choice I would pick if I was running the Jets, number one. Number two, Woody Johnson's involved. He wants to make a splash. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 12 years. How do you serve the bloodlust from Jet fans who are like, we need somebody here? How about Aaron freaking Rodgers? You're going to win headlines. And even more important than that, you can win football games. You can win playoff games. You can host a playoff game, which, by the way, hasn't happened since, 2002? That's the last time they won the division. So everything is friggin' possible once you get to that level. So who's our quarterback going forward? If I have a gun to my head and I'll hold a gun to my own head, I will twist it. Aaron friggin' Rodgers, baby. Boom. A-Rod. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Give me what I want. Yes. Aaron gosh darn Rodgers. And of course, I'm going to be right. Again, I don't give predictions. I give spoiler alerts on this show. You people should know this by now. You people should know this. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. All right, let me see. Let me try to catch back up on the comments. Try to see. Again, YouTube super chats always get answered. I try to answer as many of you guys as possible because I love you guys. You guys are great. And I always appreciate all the support, guys. We've got a lot of big things coming. I just booked a couple more Jet players on the team jumping on, so we may get some of those coming up, guys. Make sure you're stay tuned for that. Live streams just like this and other special guests. So we're excited for a very, very big offseason. Okay, let's see. I see Shen here saying, "Wait, we got another YouTube super chat. Sorry, guys, got to go back to the bottom here." Go back to the most recent. I see Dark Soldier Crew. Yes, sir. Welcome to the show. I see we just got another YouTube super chat in here. So, okay, let's go to Ron Weiss here. I love it. It said Mo Lewis at a Bart Scotchers. What do we got going on there, Ron? That's what I want to know. Your question. Does Rodgers realize he can be New York's Mark Messier here? I love that comp, to be honest with you. I know we don't talk a lot about hockey here on the show, but that's the thing that I hope I can send to each and every one of you that are watching right now, either live or after the fact. Winning, this is it. And I'm going to share this clip out. I'm going to put it in my notes right now. Okay. We had, who was it? Peter Bukowski, who covers the Green Bay Packers on the show. And one of my pressing questions to him was this: would it affect Aaron Rodgers to a guy that had to sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years? Okay, this is what happened. He had to sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years, and he finally got his chance. Brett Favre, I want to retire. No, I don't. I don't want to retire. I don't. Like, would he then, 15 years later, go get traded to the same team and follow that same career trajectory of going to the Jets? Would that bother him? Would he want to do it? Would he not want to do it? And I thought, like, man, maybe it could be a factor. I don't know. Let me ask a Packers guy. And he said, absolutely not affect him in the negative way. Like, I don't want to do that. Screw Brett Favre. He wants to do it, according to Peter Bukowski. Again, I will share out that clip because I think it's a fascinating clip on all of this, on the Rodgers-Favre thing. And the reason why is that Rodgers, with his ego, could do something Brett Favre never did. Now, I think a lot of people misremember that 2008 season where they were freaking 8-3, taking out the 10-0 Titans, beating the Patriots in overtime. Like, we were on top of the world. People were talking Super Bowl then, baby. And of course, everything fell and ended the way that it did. But Aaron Rodgers has a chance to do something Brett Favre never did: go to the playoffs, win games, and potentially win a championship. So he has a chance to kind of one-up Favre. So we'll share that clip on Twitter. Again, at BoyGreen25. If you guys would like to join the Boy Green Army, feel free to do so. 10,000 plus strong, baby. Almost 11,000. Thanks to all you crazy fans. And getting back to your question, Ron. The fact of the matter is, winning a championship in a place like, and sorry, I've just been beating this example, so I'm going to keep picking on the people in Arizona, but they're just a random example. If you win a Super Bowl in Arizona, it's not the same as winning a Super Bowl in New York, especially when you have such a fervent, such a passionate fan base like you do here with the Jets, we've got great fans, man. Great freaking fans. Okay. We've been starving for a championship. We're so passionate. When the Jets win, I'm not saying if, when, because it's going to happen again. The Jets will win the Super Bowl, and it's going to make all this heartache, as my father-in-law from Massachusetts says, heartache, Paul, heartache. When the Jets win the Super Bowl, all this crap is going to be worth it. And the guy that delivers that championship, that rings that bell, Aaron Rodgers in this case, we will build a statue for Aaron Rodgers. He will be among the elites of the elites, the greatest. Now, he's already viewed that way from an overall NFL standpoint, but in Jets land, the guy that delivers a championship will be legendary. He's already first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer. So Aaron Rodgers' legacy is sealed, signed, and delivered, baby. Whoop! Aaron Rodgers, AR-12. But he has a chance to supersede other legends. Now, we all know the different tiers of quarterbacks. 0 Super Bowls. The Dan Marino's of the world. Really good. Never won a ring. Then you have like the 1 first. Drew Brees. Won a ring. At least he's not 0. You win 2. You leap into a different stratosphere. Peyton Manning, 2. Eli Manning, 2. Ben Roethlisberger, 2. You reach a different playing field, a different stratosphere in the quarterback conversation when you win 2. Aaron Rodgers winning 2 and the second one being the New York Jets. Oh. He has a chance to be a legend. So I love the comment, Ron. And thank you so much, brother, for the YouTube Super Chat, baby. You're keeping the lights on at the Esden household. We appreciate that, pal. We appreciate that. Again, the YouTube Super Chat feature is available for each and every one of you. All right, let's get back to the top here. Let me see if I can catch up on some of your comments here. Okay, let's go. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, let's see. You guys, okay. Yeah, here is the Shern one. Okay, he's just in the later end of his career concerning Brown. He is. Yeah, so you have to have realistic expectations. I'm not saying, boom, you've got like a superstar offensive tackle. But I think it helps at a minimum depth, if not more. Outside the echo chamber, would you say having a below average offensive line for years correlates with not having a quarterback or the other way around? Interesting. I mean, they're all part of the process. Again, it's kind of a machine, but when you have a really good quarterback, he can make up the difference. For instance, there's been years where Tom Brady's had a crappy offensive line, but he gets rid of the ball so quick. They're like, okay, if this line can't protect, then we're going to do quick bubble screens, quick running back screens, run the ball. We're going to do all kinds of creative things. When we have a good offensive line, shoot, I'll take some deep shots. Randy Moss here, obviously the 50 touchdown. So, I don't think it's one or the other, but obviously a quarterback allows you to mask a lot of the deficiencies. And when you have no offensive line, you really, for the most part, outside of the very rare few, you don't get many chances. Ooh, Becton, potentially. I'm seeing that for a comeback player there. He could be Brees Hall. There's a lot of options. Dean, Super Bowl buster Rodgers or our quarterback. Absolutely. We're all in. That's the goal when you bring in an Aaron Rodgers. Make no mistake about it. Ragna, let's go to this one. Paul, let's just say Aaron announced he's coming to the Jets. Boom. What free agent do you see coming over on offense to be with Aaron and Super Bowl Jets? So guys like Alan Lazard certainly makes sense. Love the size, 6'5", brings something unique to the receiving core, and then maybe you could swap him straight up with Corey Davis. But although there's a case to be made to keep Corey Davis with the cap number and the wide receiver crazy free agency market unless you trade for somebody. But Lazard would make sense for sure as a guy. Randall Cobb, a lot of groupies could be heading over, guys that have worked with Aaron Rodgers in the past. The interesting thing, though, is it not just Aaron Rodgers groupies that would follow him? Would it potentially be Nathaniel Hackett guys from his different ventures in Buffalo and Jacksonville? Would like guys kind of squeak in from that route? But right off the top of my head, guys like Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb could make sense. Maybe even a Mercedes Lewis, that old bastard, maybe. I don't know. That could all make sense. John Michael Schmitz at 13. Not a big fan. He's really good. I'd prefer Luke Whippler in second or the third, to be honest with you. Center at 13 just seems rich because you could have done that with the Linderbaum last year, and they did not. Anders, I wonder if this will influence Aaron Rodgers. Certainly can't hurt, I would imagine. I would certainly imagine it wouldn't hurt in terms of more guys being added to the puzzle. Let's see. Okay, let's keep diving in here. OT at 13 could be. Again, I'm not ruling that out. Not ruling that out at all. James, old guys get injured. Not always, but obviously he had his first real big-time injury issues last year. But I'm not saying like, oh, boy, we got an injured guy in our hands. He had been incredibly durable leading up to that point. Jets sweep here. Jets still need to take a tackle in the first round. They should give up a 2023 first for Rodgers. They could do a conditional first for 2024. We need to get a tackle. Yeah, I'm all for. And again, with it seems like the Raiders dropping out, and maybe the Dolphins is a mystery team, but they're committed to Tua for this season. I think you could probably get away with a second this year, which is 43, I believe. A conditional, I wouldn't say conditional first. I'd say like a conditional pick that's like a third that could become a first, vice versa. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a second this year, second next year. The second could become a first if the Jets make the Super Bowl, if Rodgers plays in 2024, something like that. But I'm all for conditional picks. And again, if the rumored reports are true about, hey, this team's dropping out, then maybe the Jets don't have to your point, jet sweep. So I would try to not, and so will Joe Douglas for that matter, not to give up 13, because that could be a piece that helps you now, and you're trying to chase a chip. So for sure. Nick Russo, I wonder if we'll be in a similar blocking scheme. Again, it's not verbatim. It's not the same from what LaFleur, John Benton, that 49er system, to what we're getting with this Titans combination of Keith Carter. But there's a lot of similarities. Actually, you guys can check out my interview with Laken Tomlinson, actually. And we actually discussed some of the offensive line changes, kind of got into the nitty gritty with X's and O's and schemes and stuff. So some interesting stuff there. My Laken Tomlinson exclusive interview, guys, check that out. That was kind of interesting to give you some more answers on that. Let's go to Travi Cash here. Boy Green, do you think we would have to trade up from the 43rd pick to get John Michael Schmitz? If we are to believe Daniel Jeremiah's latest insight, he believed, I think he said the top couple interior offensive linemen, John Michael Schmitz, and there was a couple other guys on the list. I don't know if they were all interior offensive line, but John Michael Schmitz was on this list. He said he believes they're all going to be gone by 40. It was John Michael Schmitz and a couple other players. So sorry, I don't remember the full quote, but that he would be gone by 40. So yes, to your point, they would have to trade up a little if Daniel Jeremiah is right, and he's a really smart guy. So potentially, but centers got to slip all the time. So again, if you could still get Whippler, I still think Whippler can be really good too. Although JMS, he is a different animal. FM. Doesn't trading first round picks go against what JD stands for, especially for a 1-year band-aid and Rodgers? FM, I'll tell you this. When your ass is on the line, let me say this as bluntly as possible. When your cheeks are on the line, you're willing to do things that you didn't think you were willing to do, right? So Joe Douglas is this guy that, hey, draft picks, assets, everything. He's never traded for a superstar. He's only traded away players, traded away Jamal Adams, traded away Chris Herndon, Sam Darnold, all these guys. Superstar term used loosely there, obviously. But he's only traded guys away. He hasn't acquired anybody for some insane price. So you could say that it, quote unquote, goes against his standards because we haven't seen it yet. But quite frankly, with the heat coming from Woody Johnson to make a move, again, I think a great example, I get this a movie, but I love Draft Day. It's my favorite sports movie of all time. When the Browns ownership is pushing on Sonny Weaver, like, I want you to make a splash, Sonny. I want you to make a splash. Excite the fan base, do something. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure on Joe Douglas, like, make a move, man. And obviously, with kind of the loosey-goosey nature of every time he's done media appearances, like, we're getting a veteran quarterback. Like, we're going for it. So while it may, again, go against the standards that you believe exist with Joe Douglas, all of us change a little bit when a little heat's on us, if I may. A little heat. Ragnar, Paul, I hope Lakey could get you an interview with Makai and Brees this offseason and or AB2. I'm cool. And again, I have a few player interviews locked in for at some point during this offseason, which I'm excited about. I don't normally use other players to get to other players. I feel like the player that offered me the opportunity, and there's a lot of different ways to get interviews, whether through sponsorship deals or great relationships within the organization, things like that. I'm happy. We've had Tyler Conklin on. We've had Laken Tomlinson on. We've had George Fant on. And we're going to have even more. We've had former players on. Jericho Cotchery was one of my favorites. So you guys can check all that out on the YouTube channel if you'd like. Yeah, I don't use players to get to other players. I feel like they kind of cross the line. It's almost like when people ask me for other media contacts, I'm like, ugh, they wouldn't want me just kind of giving out their information, giving out their number, or those kind of things. So I try to have that same respect on the other side. So yeah, sure. Mekhi Becton, you're watching right now? Come on down. Brees Hall, you're watching? Come on down. AVG, come on down. But I'm going to set up a few other things this offseason, so we'll see. But I appreciate that, Ragnar. Let's go to Lawrence. Wapples, what's up, Boy Green? Could JD trade down and do a repeat of the 2006 Brick and Mangold draft? Please? Can he? Yes. Amen, brother. I would be all for that. The Jets had some great ammunition in that draft, of course, an absolute superstar draft. Again, the 2006 draft, spectacular. The 2007 Revis draft was spectacular as well. I would love that. Again, there could be, again, in this draft, I believe, off the top of my head, I believe the Jets have 6 picks in this draft, give or take. No, before comp picks, but they're not going to get any comp picks. So I believe they have 6 picks, but I'm fine because the 2009 year with Sanchez was a 3-person draft. I believe there was Sanchez, Sean Green, and Matt Slauson off the top of my head. So if you want to go quality over quantity, and Slauson ended up being a starter, Sean Green was a key piece of some of those runs, and we all know what Sanchez was. So, I'm all fine if you want to go quality. You just got to make sure, obviously, you swing. You have less risk or less chances, more risk, but you have less chances to be willy-nilly. Like, you got to make sure you hit on your stuff. So, yes, give me Brickman. That would be perfect, especially with this construct of you have Lakin, he's on the team no matter what, no matter how you feel about him. Lakin's on the team. AVT's on the team. And then who else am I missing? And then you're going to have, so you kind of have like 2 spots open. It could be more than that. And then if you could get like a Brick and Mangold, in theory, obviously Ring of Honor guys, then all of a sudden you're cooking with gas. But we'll see. I would love to see that. Mojo, Ezekiel can play center. Oh, God, what were they thinking, man? I feel bad for my dad. He's a diehard Cowboys fan. That was brutal. That was brutal. That was tough to see. Let's see. Comeback player of the year, Hall, without a doubt. Yeah, he has the most potential, I would say. Mekhi Becton, potentially. Although offensive lineman winning those kind of awards will be tough. He's just got to get a lot of Sports Center highlights. Let's see. Oh, there we go, Rico. All of us grew up in the 90s. We all know what you mean. I know sometimes we got a few younger guys I've seen. A couple of, what is it now? Z, Y? I don't even know. Some of you generations, I'm sorry. I miss you on the number. But, yes, I'm glad we get the Spirit Bomb reference. Excellent. Let's see. Second round is a sweet spot in this draft. That's how Rich Samini described it in his Sunday morning column. That's possible. Rico the Pup. If Brown is coming back and healthy, it's time to trade back, load up on picks. By the way, that was something Cynthia Freeland advocated for on the official Jets podcast of trading back and getting more assets, getting more swings, and again, that sweet spot in the second or third round. And again, because the Jets don't really have all these massive needs. Now, they do have needs, obviously. They're not some perfect team. Safety, linebacker, interior defensive line, offensive line we've talked about, sneaky wide receivers, some stuff like that. But, they don't have like, oh my gosh, they need to get this or else it's over. So it's kind of like some window dressing for the most part. So by trading back, you get more swings at those kind of things. So that's a good point. Shaquille, my first time here, loving the content, brother. Means the world, Shaquille, and anyone who's new to the channel. Again, make sure you guys like the video. It helps tremendously. You may just think I'm just saying this randomly during the video, but liking the video makes a tremendous difference to YouTube, and also subscribing, of course. We're on our way to 4,000 subscribers. I'd love to get there as soon as possible, of course. So that would be lovely as well. So yeah, guys, any support you guys can show, and again, feel free to check out some of our other videos on the channel. Again, we've got guest interviews with Lakin Tomlinson, Tyler Conklin we've had on the show, George Fant we had on the show. So current players, former players, live streams, fan Q&As. We have it all, baby. We have it all. John Fitzpatrick. Rodgers a very short-term solution. No guarantee he's taking us anywhere. Who is a guarantee? Even if we have Patrick Mahomes, does that guarantee he's taking us everywhere? I think some of that's overblown, John, to be honest with you. Has Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl every year that he's been around? No. He just won his second ring. He's gone to the Super Bowl and lost before, so nothing is guaranteed. And with that being said, you just try to take the best swing that gives you the best chance. Rodgers does not guarantee a Super Bowl, of course. Obviously, no one does for that matter. But he puts you in the best position, in my opinion. So I'm willing to risk it to get the biscuit. Absolutely. Kring, what QB news? Again, for people, I know people kind of come in and out of the stream. Dwayne Brown. So let me reset. Connor Hughes said if Dwayne Brown comes back, he would come back depending on who the quarterback is. Since obviously we have no idea who the quarterback is, and now we just heard today that Dwayne Brown is coming back, and it wasn't a leak. Dwayne Brown's agent spoke to me and said, hey, he's coming back. So it's not like a leak. So it's like a straight up, hey, he's coming back. So if Dwayne Brown was only going to come back if a certain quarterback was coming to the Jets, we didn't know who that certain quarterback was, depending on who the quarterback was. I'm asking to the ethos, does that possibly mean that Dwayne Brown knows something? The Jets go, wink, we got a guy. Is it some Aaron Rodgers stuff behind the scenes? Is it they're getting close to Derek Carr and no one else knows? I don't know, but it seems interesting. That's all I'm saying, my boy. So I just want to say that. Let's see. let's see. Let's catch up. The kid is adorable. How does he know? He can't see the kid. Maybe hearing. I don't know if you guys can hear her every once in a while, Zariah Luna, but she's great. But yeah, the kid is adorable. Thank you so much. That means the world. It's awesome being a dad. It's awesome being a dad. My firstborn, maybe lastborn. Who knows? You never know. God blesses us in different ways, but she is a real charm. Rich, Dwayne has my respect for what he did last year. 100%. This dude could have packed it in, man. He could have said, screw you, people. He doesn't have any, he didn't owe anything to the Jets. None of these players do, quite frankly. They do their own thing. So absolutely. I love it. For sure. Absolutely. We just got here. Welcome to the show. Go all in to get Rodgers. I agree. We'll be on here for a few more minutes, guys. So keep sending in your questions. I'll try to answer as many of them as possible. I'll order my Rodgers jersey now. Oh, Tatiana Davis. Oh, wow. I just was pulling up this comment. My fiance. There she is. I'll order my Rodgers jersey now. The green will make his eyes pop. Oh, wow. Okay. That's not right. He's got beautiful eyes, of course. But come on. For Pete's sake. I really didn't even realize that was my fiance until I clicked on the comment. Awkward. Anywho, here we are. But yeah, I will also be getting an Aaron Rodgers jersey. I guess 2 jerseys are coming to the house. Gross. I love that. Aaron, look at that quote. I got to crochet that on a pillow. You miss 100% of the pitches you don't swing at. Nice. We will win the East with Rodgers. Rich, talk dirty to me, baby. Win the East. We haven't done that since 2002. Sign me the hell up, baby. I mean, for Pete's sake, there are people that are watching the stream right now that weren't alive when the Jets last won the AFC East, for Pete's sake. I mean, honestly, it was 21 years ago. So please, yes. I'm going to be honest. I know I kind of made a big thing about this on Twitter. When the Bills won the AFC East, right, and they've won it like 3 times in a row or something, like Josh Allen came out and said, like, I'm sick of wearing these stupid hats. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but like, screw, we don't play for AFC East. We play for all this other crap. I'll tell you right now, no shame in my game. The Jets win the AFC East next year. We're getting the AFC East hat. We're getting the AFC East shirt. We're losing our friggin' minds. Absolutely. Home playoff game? Hell yeah. I'm losing my crap. Maybe it's different for a guy who's won the division 3 years in a row or something, but for me, hell yes. Amen, brother. We are getting all the gear. Yes. Oh, that would be great. Sure, I'd be happy to be in the playoffs, wouldn't we all? We're having a mock draft party. That would be fun. I'd be open to that. Last year, we tried to do the mock stream. I'm going to be honest, and the Jets obviously had 1 million picks. It was just kind of weird. I'm going to be honest. I feel like, and you know, I love doing as much live content with you guys as possible, but I assume a lot of you guys don't want to hear me. You want to hear like Mel Kipers and Daniel Jeremiah's, and we're all kind of watching the draft together, and I can't show you the stream at the same time. Maybe I would feel differently if I could. I don't have the rights, obviously. So you're just kind of seeing me react, and then some of your streams are faster or slower, and it's kind of a big discombobulated mess. So I will not be doing a live stream for the draft. We tried it last year. It's kind of a big disaster. Some other people do great work doing it, but I will give you my live reactions, and we'll do Twitter videos, YouTube videos, and I'll talk to experts from whoever the Jets draft. We'll do some fun stuff, but I'm going to be honest. It seemed like a lot of the fans agreed that we tried it, and I was like, it didn't give you guys the quality I was looking for. Lawrence Wapples, let's go back to you. I figured out something about this team. Every year it seems we keep wondering who's the quarterback is going to be and who on the O-line. Can't stay healthy enough to finish the season. Again, Lawrence, that's the thing where I get the intrigue potentially for people who want like a Derek Carr. He's 31 years old. Or even Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he has injuries, but he's 31 years old. You get one of these guys like, oh, boom, we got this quarterback for 2, 3, 4 years. And I get that. But to me, you know, get Aaron Rodgers and then figure that out later. Aaron Rodgers plays a year, 2 years, you make some runs, and then go, okay, we'll go for the next young quarterback or whatever the Jets want to do. But I'm all about, like, of course, I'd love a 22-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and he's our guy for the next 17 years, but it doesn't always work out that way, obviously. So, oh, that's true. Boomtown 89ers. Love the Jermaine Johnson shout out. Bring in Rodgers. I want all the primetime games. So let's get in primetime and have like a quarterback like, ooh, okay. Like we've had some primetime games and then the Jets get freaking embarrassed. And it's not great, obviously, the last couple of years, but I want freaking primetime games, baby. You're 100% right, Boomtown. I want some freaking games, baby. And the Jets got some games on the schedule like the Chiefs and a couple of other sexy ones where you're like, ooh, that could be nice. That could be nice. Yeah, Alan Lazard could come here. Absolutely. And yes, that's Elmo in the background, maybe I can hear. Yep, there it is. Elmo's losing their crap, apparently, for all this news we're talking about. Very nice. Ron here again. Hey, bud, adorable child, man. Do you think Rodgers knows he could be our Messier? Again, I answered that on your super chat, but yes, I do believe that he could be a legend. Absolutely. Maria, Boy Green, you're overrating our offensive line. Again, I can understand why people could look at it different ways. Some either thinking optimistically or negatively. You can look at it either way, but I have optimism that we're going to be able to figure this out personally. All right, let me go through a couple final ones here before we sign off, and then hopefully the next time we're chatting is big time breaking news. We'll also, I'll give you guys a shout out. We'll have a live stream tomorrow around the 6:30 range, talking NFL Combine with a analyst that was there in Indianapolis, and also the latest buzz and rumors. So hopefully we have more things to talk about tomorrow as well. So Russell Brown, my guy from Cover One, he'll be joining us on the show. He's great, and he'll be joining me on my radio show every Friday for those who enjoy that as well. Every Friday talking draft. So I'm looking forward to that with Russell Brown. Joseph, do you think this, Joseph Farber, do you think this gets resolved before March 15th? Yes. I think we find out next week. That's what my gut says, but we'll see. Can we sign Rodgers, Carr, and White, trade Wilson? Yeah, let's also trade for Patrick Mahomes. That'd be cool. I am all for getting all those guys. Rico the Pup. I mean, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble, but Brown can make over $11 million this year if he plays. If you got one more year in you, would you turn down $11 million? I will say this, Enrico, fair criticism or comment or whatever you want to say. Like, it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Would he turn down $60 million? I don't know. Dwayne Brown's made a lot of money. I think he's got a lot of pride in his craft. I don't think he would come out if he didn't think he could get the job done. And obviously it takes two to tango. The Jets could just straight up cut him if they didn't think he was good enough. So I think it goes both ways, personally. I don't think he's the kind of guy that would just play for the money. But, hey, who knows? Dwayne Brown is a warrior, absolutely. Whole season with one arm. DJ 14, baby. Great show as usual. Paul Hughes represent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great win. Senior day yesterday. Very nice. ACC tournament next week for all my Syracuse peeps in the house. Appreciate you. Restructure. I mean, a restructure, just kind of a straight up pay cut because, again, he has 1 year left on his deal. Unless you have like void years and stuff. So, like, we'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we get to that point. DJ 14. Great move by the Jets. Good show, Paul, per usual. Appreciate it. When do you think we'll take care of the quarterback issue? Before or after March 13th? Which March 13th, the date that DJ is referencing, is the legal tampering period. So about 48 hours, you get a chance to do all the free agency before free agency starts. I believe it's before March 13th. I'm pulling up my calendar right now. Today's the 5th. I think we find out somewhere in this week. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Somewhere in there, I believe we find out the quarterback of the New York Jets. That's just a gut feeling. Let's keep going. Biggest need on the team besides quarterback? Safety, I would say. Although, relatively speaking, because you could go offensive line like paramount of importance, I guess. But like, if all you need is like a safety and a linebacker, you kind of go, we could probably plug a guy in and figure it out. Like, it's not like, oh man, we don't have a safety, we're going to lose every game. Like, you have Aaron Rodgers, like, you could cover a lot of holes. So, safety, maybe just kind of generic offensive line. I mean, obviously center is a big void, obviously, but safety, center, linebacker outside of CJ Mosley. Okay, let me try to get to all your comments here. Let me see. Hennessy Heisman. Yeah, Packers better stop playing games before we sign Carr and they got to keep Rodgers and Love. Yeah, that would be awkward because, if they keep Rodgers, Love's like, screw you, I'm out of there. So could be awkward. Yeah, there are a few good centers. Again, JMS, Luke Whippler, I like a lot, for sure. Rico the Pup, was it Schefter saying it was either retirement or Jets for Rodgers? He was. You think that John McQueen is going to retire the same year as Brady so they could be inducted to the Hall of Fame the same year? He apparently doesn't care about that. He said on Pat McAfee's show, but he cares. He wants the headlines. And it is retirement or Jets because of all the other teams that are dropping out. And the Packers' love, apparently, for Jordan Love. That's the question. Does Mekhi go to the right side? We'll see. Health. Dwayne Brown, how does he continue to recover and rehab? How does Mekhi Becton look? Big questions here. Let's see. Draft Day was a good flick. You're damn right it was. It was a great flick. Great friggin' flick. Bo Callahan, bust. I do want a sequel, though. There's so many unanswered questions. Ray Jennings, did Sonny Weaver turn the team around? What about Brian Drew? Was he finally healthy? I mean, we have so many questions. So many questions. Joe S., I could care less what happens 5 years from now. Also true. Let's just figure out now before we start prognosticating the future. That's a good point. Yeah, a lot of people are confused by this. Again, if you don't understand the cap with Aaron Rodgers, $60 million cash, which means it's a Woody Johnson problem, and putting money in escrow, $15 million cap hit for 2023. Major difference. Again, I had a huge cap interview with Brad Spielberger of PFF for the latest. So, guys, check out that video if you want to learn more about the contract situation. All right, let's keep going here. Let me just try to get any final comments before we sign off. I try to do the best I can answering as many of you as possible. If not, you guys can always tweet at me at BoyGreen25, and I'll try to get to those at some point. Also wearing the Seth Rollins shirt. Whoa! WWE Syracuse last night. Very nice. Shout out to all those. Normally it's just Jet stuff, but hey, gotta support where I can. Where's the tweet that Brown said he's coming back? I missed it. Did you say his agent said it? Yes. It's on ESPN.com. Rich Cimini. And now I'm sure it's being aggregated everywhere by now. His agent told Rich Cimini that he's coming back for a 17 season. So that is official. And then I just tweeted out like, whoa, crazy. And then my thoughts before we jumped on live. My wife is 4 months pregnant. Congratulations, FM. Again, it's an unbelievable feeling and experience. Unbelievable. You'll be a great father, guys. Man, that's amazing. Big Green, I was 12 in 2002. There you go. There's a shout out. I was, 9? So, I was born in 93. Joe S. No super chat. Congrats on the baby. Let's go get Rodgers. Yeah, baby. She is a year and what is that? 1 month? Yeah, a year and 1 month and change. Do you even count that after they're one? I don't know. But yes, she is growing like a healthy ox. She's fantastic. Dark Soldier, we can win the East with Carr. I don't think we can. I just think the ceiling's higher than Rodgers. Let me put it this way. I feel a lot better about the ceiling and feel better about the player. I think Aaron Rodgers can be a top 3 to top 5 quarterback in football right now. Derek Carr right now is top 10, borderline. I had him in like the 9 to 11 range, but maybe either he or the cast or both can rise even higher. But that's kind of my honest take about it. Rico Pup. We want Boy Green, not Kuiper. I love Kuiper. If I ever got him on the show, that would be a goo goo gaga moment for sure. We'll see if that ever happens. Okay. Yes. Let me just quickly try to answer any of your last questions, guys, then we'll sign out. Bobby Wagner wrote a piece about it. Heavy on Jets. Check it out. Yes. Jets were interested last year. I would love him back. The money might be a little crazy for a linebacker, although there's been some rumors about the Jets being interested in Tremaine Edmonds, the Bills guy. So you could double dip, hurt a rival, and get him. Robert Saleh loves Tremaine Edmonds. That would be a lot of money, though. FM, selling your soul for one Super Bowl is enough. I would break up my soul and sell into as many pieces to get as many Super Bowls as possible. But one will put me in a good place. Let's see. Any final ones here? If we get Rodgers, the internet will break. I can't wait to run to that live stream. Or, God forbid, caught live and you guys tell me, like what happened with that crazy Deebo Samuel thing a couple years ago. Or last year, right? That would be great. Mac Jones, what in God's green earth? What's happening in this comment section? Let's keep any final words here. We're almost there. Okay, here we go. We got to the bottom. Okay. All right, awesome. Well, guys, yes, there's a healthy reminder from Rico the Pup. Great stream, guys. Great, like, out of nowhere stream. Hit the like button before you go, if you will. Also, hit subscribe. We got some great content coming up. Again, Russell Brown tomorrow. He was at the NFL Combine. We'll hear his Jets rumor nuggets. We'll hear some draft stuff as well. Some crazy guys blowing up the Combine and how that could affect the Jets in the draft, whether the 13th overall pick or in general. So we'll get into that tomorrow, Monday live stream. And we have some fun, exciting guests coming up later in the week. Some big-time guests. Maybe some current Jet players. Maybe some big-time media personalities. there's a couple of things cooking on the docket. I hope you guys can join me for some of that action. Again, make sure you guys like the video and hit subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Dwayne Brown is back to the Jets, and does that mean a quarterback is going to be joining him sooner rather than later? We'll all find out together, baby. Exciting, as always. Go friggin' Jets, baby. And we're getting closer and closer to an answer to